Hello everyone, my name is Casey. I'm with Ritual Running. Today we're going to do a quick review of the new Nike Trail Wildhorse 7. We'll take a look at some of the numbers and talk about some of the updates from last year's shoe. What do you say? First I want to talk about some facts and figures with the shoe. This shoe coming in at a US men's size 10 weighs 11.4 ounces or 328 grams. Has an 8mm offset. There's 14.5 millimeters of foam in the forefoot here, and in the heel we have 22.5. This is the Mystic Teal, Signal Orange, and Total Blue colorway. Kind of go from the top down. We still have the same gator sock-like ankle counter collar here as last year's, carries over. Once we get down into the heel here, there's a little band of padding inside the heel here into a pretty sturdy heel counter here. The Wildhorse 7 has a new engineered upper, new engineered mesh with different overlays compared to last year's. There's welded overlays on the toe box here as well to offer you a little more protection. The new engineered mesh is really breathable. I'm running and recording, testing this shoe in the height of summer. It's August, it's temperatures in the 90s with very high humidity. Every run I've had so far in the shoe, and it's been perfectly breathable. The toe box has welded overlays here, offers a little bit of protection, just that little bit of extra durability here where you might need it. The midfoot features the dynamic fit system. That's what Nike calls it. It's very similar to the Nike Trail 3 that we talked about here. And we have this series of lace loops going over the midfoot that really can get locked down really nice and tight with the gusseted tongue here. I found the fit to be true to size. The midfoot shape is a bit narrow here through the middle, and you can see it kind of flays out once we get up here at the toe box. This shape really tends to agree with the shape of my foot personally. It helps me get a really good sock-like fit, and it just attributes to the comfort, the overall comfort of the shoe. This is one of the most comfortable shoes that I have in my running shoe rotation. Once again, we have a full-length React midsole foam here from the heel, midfoot to the forefoot, all one slab. It's a little smaller of a stack height than the Trail 3s. I'll put some numbers up on the screen here. The amount of foam on this shoe I find to be my sweet spot. It's got enough cushioning to keep you protected while being able to maintain that nice ground feel that I like to have. When it comes to the outsole of the shoe, the similar tread pattern carries over from last generation shoe, as you can see here. We have multi-directional traction lugs made of high abrasion rubber that are specifically designed to help climb and descend down rocky trails. We also have a segmented rock plate in the outsole of the shoe, and you can kind of see it here poking through. There's a little bit of gray plastic. That's just to add a little bit of additional protection out there on the trails. We also have an updated heel tab. Last year's shoe had a horizontal band that was kind of tricky to use. This one works pretty well when you're slipping the shoes on out there. So far I have 20 miles in the shoe. Just picked it up a week or two ago, mostly on crushed gravel, single track, just normal trails that are around the area here. So I'm going to start with some of the positives of this shoe. This shoe is one of the most comfortable shoes I've tried on. It's definitely one of the most comfortable shoes in my running rotation now. Like I said earlier, as soon as I put it on last year, as soon as I put on the Wildhorse 6 last year, it just immediately agreed with my foot shape. Fits true to size, and it fits like a glove. It just fits, has a really nice sock-like fit. It just attaches to your foot, and it just really blends seamlessly with my foot in general, the foot shape here. Little narrow, like I mentioned earlier, in the forefoot, nice wide toe box. The feeling on foot with this shoe is very comfortable. It stays really well locked down. I don't have any sort of slippage on the inside, something I did experience in the Trail 3. It just blends really well with the shape of my foot. Out on the trail, the shoe performs really well, especially I noticed grinding uphill on the ascents, on the climbs. These lugs really help dig in, really help push you forward up some of those climbs. The ride on the React midsole is really nice. this 22.5mm stack height here is a perfect height for me. The 8mm offset, everything works really well out there. This slab of foam here is a perfect blend of cushioning and protection out on the trails. The segmented rock plate also helps a lot. The foam is squishy and offers just a bit of energy return. Another update I liked a lot about this shoe is the updated heel tab. This works much better than last year's, much easier to help get the shoe on. Now, next I want to talk about some negatives of the shoe. There's not many, but there are a couple I want to go over. The first one I want to mention is the rubber compound on the outsole. It's great, dry conditions, no problem. As soon as we get a little moisture out there, this rubber becomes a little bit slicker than I would like to see, and it can often lead to some slippage. I do like the look and the feel of the gaiter, the sock-like gaiter here. It's designed to really hug your ankle and give you a nice tight form-fitting feel around the ankle, and that's supposed to help keep out some of that dirt and debris on the trail, but in reality, it doesn't do that great of a job. Stuff tends to get stuck in here and sits right above the plush padding around the ankle here. So I don't think the sock gaiter really does its intended purpose. These lugs on the heel here seem to be a little unnecessary. I'm not quite sure exactly what their intended purpose is. They kind of fade out and feather down as you roll from the outsole up the side of the shoe here. They seem a little more for design aesthetic rather than offering any sort of real practical purpose. I admit when holding it in hand, it does look kind of funky, not gonna lie. As soon as you slip the shoe on, however, on your foot when you're getting ready for your run out there, it just works. It just looks like a good running shoe on foot. It's kind of odd. One other strange thing about the shoe is the insole here is not removable. Usually after my runs, I like to take the insole out to help clean, drain, and dry the shoe. It's something I noticed last year with the Wildhorse 6. After hiking through the Narrows in Zion, my shoes were totally soaked. I like to remove the insole to dry, but for some reason with the Wildhorse line, they are glued into the shoe and they can't be removed. It's kind of odd. The Wildhorse 7 makes an awesome alternative to a bigger, heavier, bulkier hiking shoe. When I was going out west last year, I knew I wanted to take the Wildhorse 6 with me. I took this shoe on the South Kaibab Trail down into the Grand Canyon to Skeleton Point and back. Very hot, a lot of elevation gain, a pretty tough hike, so I knew I wanted something a little bit lighter, a little more breathable than a bigger, bulkier, heavier hiking shoe. So I think the Wildhorse 7 makes a great alternative to a bigger hiking shoe. The Wildhorse 7 is certainly going to be in my rotation for the rest of the fall, rest of the summer, leading into the fall, even into the winter. I don't see why I couldn't put easily 300 miles on this shoe. It's really durable, really well made. I will honestly be reaching for the Wildhorse 7 over the Peg Trail 3s most times. It's a little bit lighter, a little bit more responsive, and a little quicker for when I want to turn up the pace. This shoe is perfect for when you want to get out there, you want to just click off some miles, and you want a shoe you don't have to think about. You just slip it on and you go. That's going to go ahead and do it for my review of the Nike Trail Wildhorse 7. My name is Casey with Ritual Running. Now if you'll excuse me,